There we go. Hey, everybody. It's Thursday night, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, and we're all just kind of reeling from past couple days, especially yesterday. I don't know. What do you guys think? I thought yesterday was like insane. Today, too, though.
Today was better.
Yeah, got a nice little gray streak coming down.
I think today was better for me because I wasn't paying attention as much. Like, I pretty much tapped out. Okay, so let's start with this video, Casey, that you found. Let's put this on stage.
Of the president for almost 20 years. This goes back to when I was 21 years old and I was Miss California at the Miss USA pageant. And I've known him. I consider him a dear friend. And I will tell you right now, I do not recognize our president. And MAGA, let me tell you right now, MAGA is dead. It is deader than dead, and Americans are furious. We do not recognize President Donald J. Trump anymore.
So, Casey, there you go. So this is a right-wing influencer. What's happening here? Like, she's on Piers Morgan, who's also right-wing.
Well, yeah. So what we've been seeing for a while is this shift with MAGA, and specifically the very vocal MAGA creators on Twitter and other parts, where they have been frustrated by a lot of the policies of this administration, and specifically some of the choices that are very contrary to what he promised in the rallies when he was campaigning, right? Like the whole, I'm going to release all the Epstein files. I'm going to be the most transparent president in history. I'm going to stay out of wars. And then here we are, right? Like, not only is it a war, but it's a war that looks like it has no ending, right? With no provocation, with no congressional approval. Everything that he's doing is sort of the opposite of what is absolutely the opposite of what he promised them. And they're frustrated. And I thought the first wave with the Epstein files, that was going to be it. But apparently they needed more, and it's gas prices and it's war. And now they're pissed.
Little by little. But, like, has he kept any campaign promises except for, like, the border? But the way he's going about it is just, like, normal people don't like cruelty. Like, the way ICE is going about it, like, is getting a really negative reaction across the board, except for people that are just into that shit,
I mean, I think, let's be honest, these people, they want to be racist. They just want to be racist behind closed doors in a way that they don't get judged. So this kind of behavior where they're separating families and putting children in detention centers, and it's getting a lot of public lash, deservedly so. These people are like, wait, I mean, we don't vote for this because, like, this is embarrassing. Like, we don't want people to know we're that racist. We just want you to get them out of the country quietly so that we don't have to think about it. And that's the problem, is that everything is so loud and big and awful and just this giant dumpster fire. That's what I put on the thumbnail for this week, is like US, like Hot Mess Express, because that's where we're at right now. The whole world is looking at us and judging us. And I think these people wanted to be a lot quieter in their racism, to be honest.
And he's decimating their businesses. I mean, it is a lot of, wealthy white men own construction businesses and ranches and a lot of places that undocumented immigrants work at. And he's completely decimated their businesses, oil lands, huge ranches, farmlands, all of that. He's decimated their entire business model.
So let's listen to this other clip, who I'm sure everyone has seen, but it's my favorite thing.
President Trump was going to hear you right now, what would it be?
Yeah.
You are a worthless pile of
And you voted for him how many times?
3 times. That was my bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
Are you displeased with the war in?
So I just think, first of all, the fact that she's so self-deprecating, because people always slam like MAGA or Trumpers when they kind of confess or whatever. I don't have nothing but good for this lady. Like, honestly, you're invited to the cookout. I don't know who she is, but the fact that she knows she was a fucking idiot and is willing to say it on national television, I love it. You're forgetting.
She's a vibe. She's a whole vibe. And I know I know a lot of people have different feelings about this. And as a white woman, I definitely try to stay out of policing how people feel about things. But just look, I'm having a hard time not enjoying her like revelations and honesty about how she's like, I've been duped. This man is awful for this country. And she didn't hold back. And my serotonin could stand for more of that. If we could see like a whole montage of just people having those very obvious revelations publicly and loudly, that would be great for my soul.
Yep.
Let's
Iran?
Yes, it's not our war. We should not be sending our soldiers over there to get harmed when it's not about us. It's about them. Like, why are we sticking our noses where we don't belong?
Say something to President Trump. He was going to.
Was that over? Is that it? That's it.
It's about.
So, I mean, the thing is, like, these MAGA people, most of them were America first, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we're all seeing that America is not first. And I don't even know there was no plan. They don't have an exit plan. They don't have a strategy. They're just winging it. So I think it's super obvious unless you're in big time denial.
And it's just they're paying it forward to the billionaires again. And it's one thing if they're making money and you're doing well, but when people are struggling and they're paying more at the pumps, like $1 more already, and we haven't even got into this, y'all. It's going to be, remember what happens when those gas prices start to go up and then everything is impacted, right? That's where we're going with this. So it's one thing for their billionaires to make money if MAGA feels like they're doing well, but I don't think there's a single faction of MAGA that's benefiting right now financially.
Yeah.
I think they're all getting hit hard.
So Craig in the comments says, I bet she would vote for Trump again if she could. Do you guys agree with that?
Yes.
I don't know.
Because
I
what's
think
the alternative?
I think it depends on how long this, like, her main thing seems to be the war, right? Like, she's not saying, oh, he's mean to immigrants or anything like that. Her main thing is the war. I think if this war drags on, especially the direction it's going, I think she's done with him. I mean, or done with MAGA and whoever comes next. And like I said, I don't know I keep saying, I don't know who's going to be the benefactor of MAGA or who claims to be. I guess it's JD Vance. I don't think MAGA transfers. Like, I don't think this lady is going to be on, JD Vance's Trump train. Now, will she vote for a Democrat? That's a whole different story. Like, I don't think necessarily just because they're anti-Trump or they're against Trump, that doesn't mean they're going to vote for a Democrat.
That's what
I think they
mean.
just stay home.
In my
which is fine by
age
me.
group, and so a lot of us have relatives still suffering from injuries, be it PTSD or physical injuries or what have you, from the last war a Republican president chose to put us in. My own siblings, and I don't know. This war, they refused to take the draft off the table, point blank. I mean, Caroline Leavitt will not say no to that, saying that the president will not take that off the table. He's keeping all his options on the table. So in a lot of these red states, they also happen to be the states that rank last in education, right? And so and that includes my state, Texas, where out of high school, a lot of kids go straight into the military. And so we are really worried about our loved ones now being shipped off to war again. This is the last thing any of us want, regardless of whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. Nobody voted for this. And this dude promised no more forever wars. And he's the one taking his people down there to get all of us, really.
So today in the Oval Office, y'all might have seen this.
Better about surprise than Japan. Okay?
Oh my
Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay?
One question: why didn't you tell U.S. allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about.
Watch her face.
Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. When we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right? You know, he's
my
asking
God.
me. No, you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us. And we had a surprise, and we
Eyes.
did.
I don't know why anyone subjects themselves to the Oval Office, like any head of state, because it rarely goes well. I mean, I guess she needed something. I don't know, but
And this right after he had the Irish Prime Minister over on St. Patrick's Day, and very strongly implied that he did not realize that Ireland is not part of the UK. So
he's yeah.
he's so uncurious that and what I think it demonstrates
That's a really
more,
nice
and
way
I've
to
said
say
this
it.
before,
That's really nice, Chris.
Yeah.
is well what I think it demonstrates is that's much more serious, is that it is like what we said last week about the excursion. No one in his inner circle is
Yeah.
willing to correct
He's
him.
still saying it. He's still
And-
saying it.
And that
Excursion.
is what is supremely dangerous, because in the first term, at least you had the adults in the room who ultimately would help make a decision or push him in the right direction or stop him from his worst impulses. All those guardrails are gone, and it manifests in little ways, like the excursion, like him not understanding that Ireland's not part of the UK, like this clip right here with the incredibly horrible thing that you would say to our ally now. It is not 1941. It is 2026. Japan is one of our closest allies. You don't
And
do this to them.
this wouldn't even make the top 10 in the most embarrassing like how bad is that this wouldn't even make his top 10 montage
Of
of
the
most
week.
embarrassing right. This is just every day I wake up and we are not only are we underreacting to all of this, but the fact that people can't, like, the attention span, people can't stay outraged long enough before he does something else, right? Like, it's just a machine gun barrage of ridiculousness.
Flood the zone.
And today I woke up really cranky. I was like, I'm just mad at everything right now, because this kind of stuff, like, this man, the most mediocre of mediocre men, running this country into the ground and embarrassing us while he does it. Like, he can't even be quiet about it. It's very frustrating.
But this is why I think all those MAGA clips are not as useful as we would like to believe, because it's not going to be Trump next for one reason or another. Whether the champagne comes out or not, it's not going to be him next. So, but is that enough to get somebody to vote for a Democrat? No. There's no way that woman, if you put her in a time
But if she
machine,
stayed home, it would be enough.
maybe.
I think it
Because-
would be if they
but
stayed home.
What is the next thing that is the propaganda that keeps people on the left for staying home? We're seeing this after the Senate
Oh, I
race
can tell you.
in Texas.
Oh.
You now have
The
all this
same
buildup-
hawk, Chris, that keeps coming out. They're using the Kamala
Mhm.
playbook. The
Exactly.
minute there's someone, they throw the APAC at you. It's just that's a whole. We could do a whole show on that. A whole show.
So there's
But
a
yeah.
difference between being upset
There's a
at
playbook.
his actions and us actually prevailing in an election.
Yeah. All right. So this was the other. Well, there was so much crazy. I was going to say other crazy thing, but this is.
Oh my God.
There was the EO explicitly laid out the details. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
It's okay. I'm asking for your understanding of it.
Yeah, my understanding was exactly what was written in the EO.
Okay. So can you?
I don't remember what was in the EO.
He's asking
So right
about
now, do you have an
DEI.
understanding of what DEI is?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's
Yeah.
your understanding as you sit here today in this deposition?
Well, it was exactly what was written in the EO. And so anytime that we would look at a grant through the lens of complying with an executive order, we would just refer back to the EO
Right.
and assess if this grant had relation to it.
Okay. But I guess stepping back from
Yeah.
your methodology strictly in terminating the grants, do you have an understanding as you sit here today of what DEI means?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your understanding of what it means?
Well, it is exactly what was written in the EO.
Okay, so
And I don't have the EO in front
just
of me,
wanna
but that was
smack that
we would always reference back to the EO and
Right.
make sure that this grant was in compliance with the EO.
I understand
language.
that. Okay, but I'm not asking necessarily about what was in the EO. I'm asking very specifically about your present understanding of what of DEI. Do you have a present understanding of DEI?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you explain what that present understanding is?
Well, it is just easier for me to be referencing back to the EO.
Are you
He
refusing
doesn't
to
know
answer
what the
question?
letters stand for.
I'm not refusing to answer the question.
Okay.
I just
I agree.
feel that
No
referencing
idea what's going
back
on.
to the verbatim executive order was the best way for us to capture all of the DEI language.
So a couple of things to mention. This is a clip from a deposition that was videoed, and it was on YouTube. And my understanding, there's a million copies of this floating around, but it was like over an hour and a half, I believe, and it was taken down from YouTube. Like they went to court and had it taken down. There's another one that a shorter clip that we're gonna show too of the other dude. But it's just, so you guys think he doesn't know what DEI means, or you think he's just like
I
blocking
think
the
he
He is
question?
the kid that didn't read the book that's trying to answer the questions.
Or it's self-preservation.
He's like my teenage son who would come home and I'd
Yeah,
say, Jimmy,
I think
have
he
you
was given
been
an order.
drinking?
Like I can literally picture him wearing a uniform right now. I think he was given an order, and he didn't care whether he understood it or not. He was getting paid. He went in there with what he was supposed to do, and because he had the tech wherewithal to get it done, he went, he stole what he needed to steal, and then he left. And
I
then he
don't
was
know.
given notes. prior
But you're
to
still
this,
under
like,
oath. Have you guys ever given a deposition?
Yes, I have actually.
many.
Yeah, and you're still under oath, and
Yeah.
Yep.
you're not supposed to lie. I mean, and he's
Well,
not pleading the fifth.
You can be given direction by your lawyer to just stick to the EO. Just do word salad around that. You're just following the language of the EO and just word salad that. Just stay there. Don't
This
give them
kid-
anything else.
This
That's
kid is
exactly what he
lying.
did.
You can tell
That's
he's
exactly what he
lying.
did.
His eyes go back and forth.
They're the worst actresses and actors. Like this, I want to say, have you look at Erica Kirk? She's another example of this. They are terrible at lying and acting. And this dude, and I just want to say this because nobody has really talked to me about this, and I need somebody to commiserate with on this. Are we sure this isn't Stephen Miller in a bad hairpiece? Because they look identical, and I will never get over that. Like I know I have white man face blindness, but I swear to God, he looks just like him, and he has the same mannerisms. And it's
I
this
don't
like,
think he looks like Steve.
I don't want to be here. Like
looks
he's like
Miller. He does.
he
I think
feels
that's a
so
compliment to
entitled.
Stephen Miller.
Well, yeah, but he feels really entitled, and he feels bored with being here. Like, how
His
dare you
insides
question
are the
me?
same, yeah.
And I just I all the mannerisms make me just want to slap him around a lot, and I think that would do wonders for my serotonin too. But I'm just saying that both of these people have this like very clear that they've been talked to behind the scenes and prepared for this, not just by their lawyers, but by the Stephen Miller troupe that said just keep doing that, like Lisa said, word salad, and eventually they're gonna just move on. I don't know how much a judge likes that though. I gotta be honest. Like I'd be real pissed if I had to sit through this.
And I don't know. I think so
No,
many
they
people that
don't.
are like, if you were part of Doge, and even so many people in the administration, do you realize you're gonna have to lawyer up at some point? Like you're gonna have to pay for lawyers, and
No,
Trump
they
isn't
don't
gonna
think
help
that.
you. Trump is not
No.
going to help you, even if he says he is. He's not.
Well, it depends on who they are. Are they the smart ones, or are they like that are?
These guys are hackers. They're not gonna. They're on their own.
Yeah.
I think they know right now.
Sorry,
I
go
think
ahead.
it's not even worth questioning why they're doing anything. They are corrupt, and they know at this point that if Trump goes down, they're going down. So it is complete self-preservation at this point, because they know if that dude goes down, they're all going down. They have no more protection. I
don't know. I think
it's
Doge is a little bit different than the regular people in the administration. But listen to this.
Yeah.
Listen to what he says.
That people might have lost important income to support their lives.
No. I think it was more important to reduce the federal deficit from $2 trillion to close to zero.
Did you reduce the federal deficit?
No, we didn't.
Do you have any history in like?
Did you hear that? He said it was more important that we reduce the federal deficit to zero. And then he's asked, did you, like, he says it like with his whole chest, I think. And the guy's like, did you reduce the deficit? No, we didn't. Like, I think we should pause on that moment because the whole Doge thing, fraud, waste, and abuse was a lie. Like that was never.
Yeah. When we go back in history, when we go back and look at this, like, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, or like what somebody said, we're living through a 2075 history exam. And 100%, this is going to be one of those portions where everyone's going to say, what the fuck was everybody doing? Like, how did they let this happen? Like,
they were firing people of color and women and stealing.
And these people had access to our data. And that's that's the thing is people in the future are going to be like, why the hell didn't y'all get more upset about this? And I really think it's because people don't understand what they were doing. I don't think like the story was covered, but it was covered at a time where remember how he'd done all those executive orders and there was like just this barrage of fuckery happening. And I think this got tucked in there and the public didn't really understand what was happening or how much data they had, like of our social security numbers and all of our access to all of our vital information.
In those exams, they will know that we had state-run media by that point.
That's true.
Here's a little
This
more.
guy looks like he's 14.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does have a baby face, but these are grown-ass men.
They're
And I
grown-
think
Yeah, we
if they
shouldn't
were- I
infantilize
think if they
them.
were black men, they would be vilified a lot more than they are now.
Yes.
So here's
Yeah, they would.
Scholarly peer
Picture all of them in uniforms.
No.
Okay. So, but this judgment call was made by you and your personal judgment combined with Justin's personal judgment to cancel grants based on DEI.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think it's inappropriate in any way that someone in their 20s with no experience with grants or federal government was making personal judgment calls about what grants to cancel?
No, I don't think it's inappropriate.
Okay.
That's why you were hired.
I think a person can have enough judgment from reading books and being well informed outside of traditional experience to
Whoa!
obvious things like
There it is.
that literally lists DEI in its description to know whether it violates an executive order.
I'm sorry. I'm saying books because you said books. What books would you have read that would have informed your opinion on what grants to cancel based on DEI or not?
There were no books.
So can we talk about mediocrity? Like, they're busy thinking if you are a person of color, if you're a black man or black woman, that you're not qualified, no matter how much what education you have. But these fools can't even recall a book. I don't know.
This whole entire thing is frustrating because number one, we knew that people didn't understand what DEI initiative, like they don't know what it is. Like they don't know what it entails. And so the Republicans, of course, like they always do, they take their language and then they are the ones that lead with it and then they corrupt that. And so they make it something that's like a dirty word as opposed to what it really was. And these people are examples of DEI hires. Like that's the thing. It's like these kids right here, they're men, but yeah, they're not qualified. They've been hired because in fact, they are young white men. That's exactly why they were hired, because they're easily manipulated. They're easily persuaded to buy the Trump administration and like their Project 2025 ways. That's why they were hired. And that's why they're going along with this, is because they picked the people who they had the most favor with, these young white kids just out of college or in college in some cases, right? With very little life experience, because they are the ones that bought into this Project 2025 plan. They love it. It helps them out too. It's like Lisa said, it's not just self-preservation within the Trump administration, if he ever gets in trouble, it's self-preservation in that preventing these other programs means that they get to stay on top. Like it means that they get to be rewarded for their mediocrity and their failings, and other people have to work that much harder to try to overcome, you know, their hierarchy. That's what it is.
Right.
The manosphere shit they were fed to do this. You're going to be a hero. You're going to save the world. You're going to be architects of the new world order of the United States. I mean, think of the crap that they used to build them up to sell this false sense of security for them. Again, picture all of them wearing a Nazi uniform. That's how I always do it. These are men. These are men who did what they did.
Yeah.
No, they did what they did because they are going to benefit from it, and they knew that from the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
All right. Speaking of mediocrity,
Secretary Pete Hegseth didn't even mention those deaths for nearly 9 minutes. Instead, he spent much of that intervening time touting the destruction on the ground and complaining about media coverage. When he did, Hegseth seemed to contradict the story he was trying to tell.
For example, a banner or a headline, Mideast war intensifies, splashing on the screen the last couple of days, alongside visuals of civilian or energy targets that Iran has hit, because that's what they do. What should the banner read instead? How about Iran increasingly desperate?
So to be clear, he says the headline should not be about the war intensifying, but then 2 minutes later, he said the war is intensifying.
Today will be, yet again, the highest volume of strikes that America has put over the skies of Iran and Tehran. The number of sorties and number of bomber pulses, the highest yet, ramping up and only up.
so here's the thing. He is reading from paper. Like he has notes.
He's not even good at reading from paper.
But he doesn't even you write your notes and you don't read them back to yourself. Like he doesn't realize he's contradicting himself within the same remarks. It's crazy.
No, because I think other people have written it. I think that this is like it's just people are running up there with like 100%. Oh, I think when we do the dissection of this administration and we find out how perilously close we were, like just at every single moment of falling apart, like we wouldn't have survived. Our heads would have exploded. This is like for our self-preservation at this point, not to know how bad it really is behind the scenes. I guarantee it. This is not a well-oiled machine. I told you earlier, it's like the Flintstones bus. Like they're all out there like carrying that bus together and nobody's at the steering wheel. It's concerning. Him especially. He's a mess.
So
it is like he's reading copy on Fox News.
He can't even read. Like he's so bad at what he does. It's because it is like somebody putting on a costume and trying to pretend. This man has no business running a department at a Nordstrom, like let alone running the Department of War. Like he's just so utterly ill-equipped to be any kind of a leader, to do any kind of thing, especially when we're talking about our troops. In any situation whatsoever, I wouldn't want this. If I had a child, I wouldn't want this man like 20 feet near my child, like let alone running a whole Department of War. It's embarrassing. Sorry, I'm really upset about it.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, and this like came out. I don't think it got nearly enough attention. Military leaders warn Hegseth not to gut offices that limit risk to civilians. He ignored them. I mean, that tracks.
I really think this man has, not only does he not know what he's doing, but that people like Stephen Miller are counting on that. They're just lighting the fire underneath him and like stoking the flames. And so he'll be like, I know, like we should do this. And they're like, yeah, that's a really good idea. Right? Like they're just basically trying to get him to do the most like provocative, ridiculous things in it that eventually work in their favor, maybe, but certainly serve as a distraction and also make him a scapegoat at some point.
Yeah, it's
the very first things he did when he got his appointment were to rename military bases back to Confederate people.
Fort Bragg.
And to fire just about every female and black officer, every person of color. I mean, just to rile up, right? Get goodwill supposedly from the base before you do all of this into another ward, do all of this other shit that they're doing, thinking, well, we're going to really do a lot with the racist stuff. That'll really keep our base on point.
I mean, it was really telling. Remember, I don't remember how long ago it was, but it was sometime in 2025. Remember, the Pentagon website, they started taking down Black history, women, just people that had served, with great distinction. Tuskegee Airmen, they took that down until the backlash, and then they put it back up. But that said all you need to know. The fact that that's what they were targeting on their website when it comes to history. So,
Whoa.
What?
Somebody just sent me this clip. Did you see the clip of Donald Trump patting?
Yes.
Oh, tell me that's AI. Tell me it's AI.
Okay, so
someone tell me that's AI.
Is
that AI?
I was gonna put that on today, but
It's gotta be AI.
I did see someone. There was another video. Well, no, one of the responses to the video was that his hand disappears. I watched it super slow, and I didn't see his hand disappear. A lot of people are clocking it as real. But what did you say, Lisa?
What happened?
He's like,
go ahead.
He's like patting a staffer, like a female, on the back, and then his hand keeps traveling down, and then eventually hits it on her ass like a couple times, like right, at the waistband, right where it's like at your ass and the waist. It's like real inappropriate, but like it's I can't tell if it's AI because now we've gotten to the point where it's. Especially depending on how it's been taken, like if it's, what kind of a camera it was taken with or whatever.
It's a video.
I mean, I'm saying like a video, like I don't know.
I can give me a second. I'll I will get it.
Somebody's like, this is obvious AI. I'm like, why is it obvious? I need you to point out why it's obvious.
I don't know. I mean, I
think we need to stop saying it's AI because it's ridiculous, right? Like we can say it's AI because it obviously hasn't been verified, that it's not come from multiple sources. We can say it's obviously AI because there's quality issues like in the background, or that like, fingers disappear, rings disappear, or ears like disappear or whatever. But we can't just say because, this would never happen. Because like this
Lisa,
man,
video. You wanted to see it.
We just had Dan Goldman of New York stand up in front of the House and read part of the unredacted Epstein files that talk about a 13-year-old accusing him of assault. And, he has been credibly accused many times of being a rapist. And so to say like, he wouldn't do this, so it must be AI. Stop with that. Like, yes, I think it's AI because I can't confirm it is a valid thing to say, but not because this wouldn't happen. That I can't get behind that.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think, first of all, it's not the best quality video what I've seen, which is another way to hide AI, just make sure it's not crystal clear. I don't see anything obvious. Like I said, someone said his hand disappears. I just don't see that. Like right there. Look. It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. So the problem with the quality part is that like when you have somebody that's farther away with a professional camera, when you zoom it in, it can lose some quality, and especially the way that it's shared out. So sometimes that's not always a telltale sign, but yeah. When you really slow it down, you can kind of see there's like a flick there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. Let's do a bigger one. I don't know how I do this. And then no, that's not bigger. That didn't really help.
Because we got to start regulating this. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's just going to keep being a problem if we don't get it regulated. Although I'm not opposed to using this to get regulations. Like, it was like when I posted that picture of him with the walker that was like taken from way far away. And I was like, look, either this is real and he's lying about his health, or we need to regulate AI and y'all can talk about it amongst yourselves. And people lost their damn minds about it. And I was like, but here's the thing. This man just prevented, what was it, the states from signing AI legislation. And so this is, what's the outcome of that? Now we're going to have to deal with AI. He should be the first victim of it.
Also, this man does crazy shit. Like here he is saying, It's great. It's blocked, but to kill Iranians, it's a great honor to kill Iranians. Like, who would say that? Like
Him.
Donald Trump. Yeah.
Him.
So it's like what seems unbelievable is real.
You know who I trust? I trust Anthony Bourdain. And I saw the clip going around again. It's been shared many times of him sitting down and talking about who he wouldn't have dinner with, Anthony Bourdain. And he said, you know, I've sat down with leaders and people that I don't agree with, like even Hezbollah, and I'm willing to sit down with most people. We can disagree on pretty much fundamentally anything, but I won't sit down with him. And he was saying why Donald Trump, because he has a reputation. He's like, I don't even think he eats like food. Like, I think that's because of his McDonald's kind of, reputation. And that he'll just sit down and talk about himself the whole time. He called him objectionable. And I thought, if you go watch the clip, it's everywhere. But I saw it on TikTok again. If you watch the clip, this is a man who's been all over the world, and he has sat down with people from every walk of life and every culture in all different types of leadership positions. And this is like one of the people he would not dine with. Like, that's telling. And this is a long time ago. I think this was before he was even president that this video was shot, because Anthony Bourdain committed suicide. I can't remember what year that was.
I think it was during. I think it was during Biden's term. I think.
It's another thing. Did you hear Trump describe the illness of the senator, congressman in Florida?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was really. I don't have a clip of that. Before y'all ask, I don't.
That was just mind blowing to me.
Does somebody want to recap what happened? He was
talking
to Speaker Johnson.
Yeah, and they were. I mean, it was meant to be a compliment to this particular politician, because that they were still really working hard despite the fact that they had this terminal illness condition. And but the way that they were laughing about it, number one, it hadn't been released publicly. So they outed this person essentially as having a terminal condition. But on top of that, the way in which they spoke about it, there was like no reverence. There was no respect for it. It was just like, like this man's going to die, but thank God he's working for the Republican Party. And it was gross. It was just really, really
gross.
vile.
Trump laughed and said he'll be dead by June.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he has terminal cancer. Like that's bad.
And the fact that he outed the timing of it as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
He outed the fact that it was terminal. He started with he's sick.
Yeah.
Then he outed that it was terminal. Then he outed the timeline. So
yes, his timeline.
Yeah, and he did not take the cues from Mike Johnson either, who was trying to kind of shut it down, but again, did not really shut it down. It was very subtle clues that any of us would have picked up on, but he is not capable of doing such.
No. Well, and you can't, that's the thing about him, is that they used to be able to use him as a puppet, but now with the way that he is, not only with his personality, but the cognitive decline, you can't manipulate him the way that you once could. And Mike Johnson, of all people, by the way, I laughed because Mike Johnson is one of the people that I hope, as a fringe outlier on this, goes down so hard. I hope we see him in prison. I hope there's so much information. He's just one of my top 10 nemesis. Is that a plural word of that? Nemesis? Anyway, Mike Johnson makes the list, and I know that there are bodies buried in his basement for sure. So it doesn't surprise me that they would have been talking about that together.
Okay, watch Trump's.
I know when it's over.
When I feel it.
Okay.
I feel it in my bones.
Will you ask anybody in particular? Would that be some of these a joint decision?
Well, I deal with people. I have great people.
So, I mean,
the fact that the Fox News host is like, you're just gonna feel it.
It's totally fine. Everything's gonna be fine, y'all. We're just vibing. We're just gonna run our wars on vibes and maybe some crystal energy, and it'll be fine. Oh my God. It's so awful, and it's embarrassing every time I see something like this, I'm like, there are so many emotions I have between anger and frustration, but I also feel embarrassed and I feel frustrated and resentful. Like, aren't there any Republicans who give a shit about this? Especially, like, we just talked about how they outed one of your colleagues as having a terminal illness and had no regard for them, laughed about the fact that they were going to die by June, and this man is leading our country based on like, someone surely has to finally say enough. Besides Thomas Massey, can someone else just stand up and say, we're done with this man?
What happened to Colin Powell?
Isn't he dead?
He's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah. He died.
I'm sad because he warned us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Remember he endorsed. Well, that was when Obama ran. That wasn't it. That was against Hillary Clinton. I take that.
Condoleezza Rice showed up at the White House a couple weeks ago, right? I had read that and I was so excited. I was like, good girl, get in there. And I never heard anything else about it. So now I'm like, what? She was like, I'm out.
So remember, like, earlier this week, I believe it was earlier this week, he's asking all the world leaders, like, you need to help us with minesweepers, and you need to come and help with the Strait of Hormuz, and they basically all said fuck off.
Yeah, as they should.
As they should.
And what's priceless to me is when you look on social, other than MAGA, even Americans on social by and large are like, good for you. Don't help him, this man. Like, everyone clocks it as like, this guy took us into a war with no plan, with no exit strategy, and he thinks it's, he's entitled to have other countries come in and help him out of this mess. And they're basically saying, like, the prediction now from experts, right, is that we are going into a worldwide recession if they don't get this strait of, like, 20% of the world's energy goes through that strait. So we're screwed.
It reminds me, wait, why are we listening to Canon and D?
Yeah, that ain't me.
Where's that music coming from?
I don't know.
Did anyone see the email that came out, the fundraising email that Trump's people did with him at the transition ceremony?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The fallen came back. And my thought immediately was, why is he fundraising?
Because he's a grifter, a big fat grifter.
He's gonna run again.
He's not doing it to give it to the Republicans running in 2026. That's for damn sure.
And who buys that shit?
A lot of people. You got
a lot of flack for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like he's the kind of person that is caught on camera, like on CCTV, and like maybe he knows that he's on camera, but he forgets. And then he comes in.
It's not me, I swear.
Not me.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
Anyway, he's like the people who come in and say and like get caught on something, but they pretend like they didn't. And it's like he clearly started all of this, and we all sat there and watched it together. And now he's like, yeah, but really, like, y'all should come in and help. Like, as if he didn't do the mess, as if he didn't spill the glass of milk, right? Like, as if we don't have video of him getting the milk out of the refrigerator, pouring it into a glass, spilling it over, and then being like, aren't you gonna just clean this mess up? Like, sir, you did this. What do you mean?
It was also funny. I think it was like 2 days ago. He says that a president, and he's not going to name who they are, but told him that they would have been on his side, like they would have done what he did. They wished it was him.
And every president had to come out and say, no, that was not us.
No, not me. That was embarrassing. Like, there's a whole every single one of them is like, not on my watch, not me.
Carter came back to life to emphasize
I know.
Not him.
They resurrected him. Even he would have cut ties with Trump, and he was the nicest guy there ever was. This is just This is absurd. Again, I stress we need to be talking about the Republicans in Congress. Like, we need to be talking about Republicans, like, and presidents as well. Like, you know, George W. Bush could say a few more words. I know he's busy painting in the basement and having like his best life,
he's been
but
absentee for like way too.
I know.
Yeah.
But like, whatever. I know you're done serving your country technically, but it would be super great if some of these dudes could get back, you know, in the ring and speak on it more. And because it just isn't like normal times, right? You can't say we're living in unprecedented times every other day and then also just act as if things are fine. These things don't go together. So you should be actively speaking out and using your platform, and Republicans in Congress need to be saying something. I don't know what they are telling these people behind the scenes, but it must be something fantastic. The things they must have promised these people in Congress to keep their fucking mouths shut while this man runs our country into the ground. It must be phenomenal. I don't know. I guess it's money, but still. Or in Lindsey Graham's case, it's blackmail, but whatever. Like, they have promised them something fierce, because every day I open my browser and I think, why am I telling myself it can't get worse? It's like, I just know that I'm setting myself up for disappointment, because the next day, inevitably, when I open my browser, there's going to be something there, Trump being ridiculous again. And not enough Republicans, specifically, I'm calling them out because it's their party and their mess. I know that normally people unify behind the executive. I get it. But this is, like I said, not normal times, unprecedented times. At what point is someone going to be like, all right, get grandpa in the home? This is too much. This is too much.
I think we're past that time.
We're well past that time. But, like, where are they?
I agree.
Yeah,
you know, when I was in the hospital recently, the doctor came in and they had the DNR, right? Do not resuscitate. And he said, do you want to sign it? And I said, no, not as long as Trump is in office.
I remember you saying
that. You jam that tube down my throat.
That's right, Susan.
Whatever it takes.
Good for you.
That motivates me too, Susan. Anytime because I'm now over the hill. So, like, anytime something goes wrong in my body, I'm like, listen, this could be it for me. And I'm like, especially with our healthcare system. And I'm like, no, God, no, I'm going to outlive Mitch McConnell. I'm going to outlive Mike Johnson and Donald Trump. All of those people.
It's like, well, you got a lot wrong with you. I said, we got a lot wrong going on.
That's right.
Did you guys see, was it last weekend? I think it was last weekend. The clip came out. I think it was Sunday or I don't know. But Scott Bissett being interviewed about the war, which to me is crazy. Like the U.S. Treasury Secretary. Why is he speaking on the war? Like, that seems really out of his lane. And
whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing. But here's a video. I posted a long video. There's a clip that's going around, but I found the longer video version. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but the nuance, I think you do have to see how it evolves.
I listened to you on the...
The president wants you. Sorry, the president wants you.
Oh, okay. Okay. No problem at all. See you shortly, Mr. Secretary.
You can work that in.
Mr. Secretary,
So just one little thing here, because I forgot to put it on this clip. There was at least an hour and a half that passed.
I was going to say the timestamp.
Yeah, when you see the clip, it looks like he got up, went out for a couple minutes, came back. An hour and a half passed, and then listen to this.
to say, it's a first, I'm sure a last as well, that an interviewee's been pulled away to go to the Situation Room. How was the president? Was he stressed?
No, the president is in great spirits. The Iranian mission is proceeding well ahead of schedule. And I have to tell you, Wolf, that I have a teenager who's considering military service, and I can give this team my highest compliment, from President Trump to the head of the Joint Chiefs to the Secretary of War. I would say that I would trust my child's life in their hands.
Well, Your child sounds like a brave.
I mean, it felt like he had just memorized that and was struggling. Plus, he also seemed super nervous. What did y'all think of that?
Extremely nervous.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that people didn't say was like this whole administration is there's just a lot of rampant drug use. So I'm not 100% sure while he was out, he didn't just take a hit of something and came back. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like at this point, nobody's talked about that. I'm like, but we've seen Rubio, like we've seen some of their behaviors and we already know from like some of the disclosures from the first administration about how much pharmaceuticals were involved, like let alone the non-pharmaceutical illicit drugs. And I think we're just assuming because these are people in suits and ties that's not happening, I guess. I don't know. But so that could explain some of it. But also I forgot he was gay. I forgot he had a husband. Yeah. He has a husband. He's gay. Like, what are you doing on this side of the tracks anyway? Like, why are you on this party doesn't have anything for you, sir? Like, why are you helping them?
So true. So true.
My jaw just dropped.
Here's a little more just so you could see.
A brave person, Mr. Secretary. And we want to come to all of those details in a couple moments. But if I may, I want to pick up to where we were. You starting to think, if this does keep persisting as it is, that the Navy has to go into the Strait of Hormuz to help ships get through, which would have a big effect on
look, that was always in our planning, that there's
always in our planning. Why is he like
why are we talking to the Secretary of the Treasury about this?
Yeah, I think that they all sit around in these they've gone on retreats or they have like dinners or something and they all sit around and they overfunction for each other. It is like the greatest example of lack of boundaries, of lack of professionalism because people don't have lanes anymore. Like in other worlds, when we used to have presidents that maybe kind of followed the law, they also had like people that had departmental like, regular responsibilities and roles that were very clearly articulated, and you did not stray from that. It wasn't like you just popped down to the Secretary of Defense and you're like, hey, maybe I could weigh in on some of our policies today. Like that never happened. But this administration is so incestuous that they constantly intermingle. And I think they're all pulling each other's weight because I also think that there aren't as many people. I do think he's intelligent. I think this man is probably an intelligent man comparatively to a lot of the other people in that administration. And so they're having to go to their second and third strings because their main team is not qualified.
Later in the day today, the news alerts started popping up that the Secretary of the Treasury is the one saying that we may ease oil sanctions on Iran. And I'm thinking,
which is nuts. Like we bomb Iran and we're talking about easing oil sanctions but
at best, that is
how many years has oil sanctions
as
been?
Secretary of State?
Right.
And truly, in a situation like this, that should be Donald Trump making that announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Secretary of the Treasury.
I think that this is also a commentary on their lack of faith in the leadership and capacity of Rubio. I think that there's no respect or love for Marco Rubio at all. I think we've seen that at every turn, that he's going to be one of the first scapegoats, one of the first people they cut loose. That's why I laugh when people talk about Marco Rubio as being a candidate for president. I'm like, these people don't give a shit about Marco Rubio. Like he is just he's so expendable to them. There's like, otherwise they would be deferring to him, but instead they're sending the Secretary of the Treasury out to do his work. That's not a good sign.
Right.
Let's see. Yeah, it's so let's Michelle's like, nobody I know who has children who's serving in the military right now is okay with what's happening. Yeah, like that's the thing, is like, even you're seeing veterans, right? And people who have served this country that are like, I don't care what party you're with. This isn't okay. I'm not okay with this. This isn't patriotism. This is reckless disregard for our military service members. And it is. So Joe Kent resigned this week and he wrote a letter. But anyway, for people that don't know, he's the director of the National Counterterrorism Center. Now, I think we have to start with the understanding that he is MAGA. Like this
Right.
is not just a regular,
Yeah.
a career employee of the government. He is MAGA, a Trump supporter, 100%. Also, he did serve in the military,
Like for 20 years,
Yeah,
right? Didn't
and
he do like 10 tours or something?
Yeah, and his wife died in an attack. She served in the military also and died in an attack in a bomber in Syria. So I mean, he's been through it, but like for him to come out and say what was his point? His point was there was no imminent threat, which is what Trump wants us to believe. What he has said, that was their narrative. There was an imminent threat because we're all wondering, why did we do this? Like, why are we?
I think that this is a really bad sign. And I think that it means that there's some stuff behind the scenes that is really concerning and really hinky. Like the stuff that these people are going to be wanting to do is very illegal. And I think people who have served this country, even if they are MAGA, and they might have some gray areas in terms of morals and ethics other places, that usually does not extend to our armed forces. Like, right, they're usually pretty stand up when it comes to that. And I think that he's gotten wind, or they have told him of plans that we're going to use our troops in a way that he absolutely could not sign off on. And this is why. Like, so not just that it was unprovoked, but that there's more that we might not, maybe we never know about it. I don't know. But there's something else happening there that would prompt him to resign in this way, very publicly. With not for personal reasons, like not like a Kristi Noem situation where he's being moved to another department, or I have a child that's sick, I have to take care of. No, very publicly, I don't agree with what's happening. That means there's it's kind of like the tip of the iceberg thing. It means there's some way more stuff underneath there. I'm concerned.
It 100% is. This is going to bring down the entire global economy.
Mhm.
What I don't think people understand is in this country, you're looking at gas prices. Gas prices, the reason gas prices go up so quickly is because you're paying for the next fill of gas that the station will have. You're not paying for what the price is now.
It's speculation.
Yes. So that's just the tip of the iceberg in the sense of the economic fallout. In the 3 week to a month to 2 months, as the global oil supplies, and now with the Qatar liquid natural gas plant and them not being able to supply their contracts for natural gas, you're going to start seeing raises in power supply prices that we don't understand. That's going to impact, especially with them, the power generation in Europe. And so anything that is made in Europe, shipping costs, the price of diesel is going to explode. So anything that moves anywhere, which is everything, is going to have those prices put in. We are not understanding that not only is this going to get way worse, but you don't just magically repair a refinery. You don't magically repair a storage facility. We're talking years and years. The Qatar thing, they already were estimating that it's going to take 3 to 5 years to get their infrastructure back into place.
Not only the health implications for all the people that, tens of millions of people that are in that region that are dealing with the fallout of these explosions and these refineries. Right. There's going to be massive health implications to that. That's going to be, decades out. Like we saw what happened after 9/11. So this idea that these kind of carcinogens aren't going to impact that population is ridiculous.
People that served in Iraq as well.
Right, exactly. Right.
And we're not even at the very beginning of this in terms of how many of these storage facilities, refineries, things could be hit.
Yeah. I feel concerned about I don't see a way out of this. And that doesn't mean there isn't one, all right? Because we've said this before. There are many ways to do things, and just because the obvious ones look very what's the word I'm looking for? Like impenetrable, like there's no pathway, but that doesn't mean that there aren't alternatives. But my brain can't wrap itself around how we fix this, like other than immediately removing Donald Trump, immediately putting somebody else in that has a completely different mindset. And by the way, this is a good point. Y'all did see, I think we talked about this last week, y'all did see that JD Vance publicly came out or it leaked that JD Vance had different opinions about the war. And that was very intentional, like, because like it's just like Hollywood in terms of PR, the way things work. Like, you need to start believing that when you hear things like that, it was on purpose. If you're hearing it, it's on purpose. It's not like a Signal chat leak. This is on purpose because he's trying to separate himself out from Donald Trump. And that's key too, because that might mean that either they think he's going to be replaced soon, or he's going to die soon, or they're going to kill him soon. I don't know which one it is.
He's running in 2028, and he learned the lesson, apparently, that Kamala, the mistake she made, which was not distancing herself enough from Joe Biden on certain policies, for example, Gaza. So he's going to be able to say later, I think you'll see more of that, is what I'm saying.
He jumped right out and made sure that everybody knew he wasn't on board with that.
Nancy in the comments makes a really important point that we are so full of ourselves. We don't understand that other people have agency. Other countries have agency.
Yeah.
If we magically, if we all had champagne tonight and magically JD Vance decides to end this war, apologize to Europe, apologize to Iran, try to make amends, which obviously won't happen. But how would you feel if you are an Iranian citizen and you just watched all this happen? Are you just going to forgive and forget? How do you feel if you're one of the 13 other countries that have been dragged into this of no fault of their own that have now seen these actions? How are you going to feel towards the United States for the rest of your life?
I think there's a chance we get out of this, and here's what it is if we publicly send this man to prison. Like, if we prosecute out all the people that are responsible, like in a way where it looks like we haven't done this, by the way, as a nation. So I'm not saying I'm holding my breath for it. I'm just saying that I think because they know that the bulk of Americans, even the bulk of our politicians, don't support this, and that it is a sect of people that are pursuing this. I really do know that the world believes that. But if we were to prosecute him, if we were to hold the people accountable that were a part of this, like the Stephen Millers, right? I think that might help us. Like, that might be what saves us. The problem I have is that we've not done that for like anything at all. We haven't done any kind of reparations when people have done wrong in this country, and that's the challenge, is that we usually have a hard time putting our politicians in prison, clearly. And
we don't have a great track record. How'd Reconstruction work out again?
Yeah. So this is my problem. But I think if we found our voice in that chat and we were able to really do a good job of using them as an example of what this country isn't about and won't be about, once the Democrats were able to take over, maybe we restore some goodwill. Then maybe. But I do think people know that it's him and his people. Like, I do think people understand that the American people, where they really slacked were in our civic system, that we have a very poor, broken down civic system, and people aren't involved in that, and consequently look who got elected. And actually, I think it's a really good example and warning to other nations about how to stay plugged in, or you'll be the Americans.
So before we move on to the next subject, which are the hearings, and there was a lot. That's kind of how we started this show, because I was like, what the fuck happened this week? So hearings yesterday and beyond, I knew Mark Wayman was coming. But before we end about the war, just an important point, they're talking about sending 3,000 more troops. Okay, so there's, I don't know if that's just a rumor, but it's the same talk that was there when they were talking about sending 2,500. The other thing is they're going to be asking for the supplemental, which is supposedly $200 billion.
Right.
This coming, I think it's next week. They're gonna put it forward. So we're not anywhere near done with this war. I don't care if they say 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks. I mean, we're in it for a minute, or they wouldn't be doing this.
Well,
Go ahead, Susan.
Iran is not going to stop. They're
No.
not going to stop.
Oh no, we've unleashed holy hell. I
Yes.
mean, it's yeah.
Well,
we're-
that's their goal, though, right?
Right.
Quite
They
literally.
were-
Yeah,
Quite
literally.
that's their goal.
I mean, it's going
Literally.
to outlast his administration. And you know what I keep going back to that really like freaks me out? We are closer to the beginning of the Trump administration than the end. And it feels like we are years
No,
into this.
I don't
So-
want to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I just. So, okay. Mark Wayne Mullen.
I want to go back and watch the video of the lady that hates Donald Trump. Can we do that again? I need to restore my serotonin.
Let's hear about the bull rider. Come on.
So, actually, I don't know if y'all know this, but this is how Susan and I got to know each other. We were working on Kendra Horn's campaign in Oklahoma. And that's why I am a Mark Wayne Mullen encyclopedia, because I was doing Oppo, and this man is a tragedy. I mean,
He's a mess.
A mess. So I'm going to start off with, where is that video? So this is a little, let me rearrange this a little bit.
Madam Chair, what's the definition of insanity?
Of sanity or insanity?
Insanity.
Insanity?
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome.
Right. And what was we ranked in reading and math in 1979?
I'm sorry, what?
What was we ranked nationally in math and reading in 1979?
We were very, very low on the totem pole.
We're number one in 1979. Today,
Oh, 1979.
1979.
Sorry. Okay.
In 1979, we were ranked number one in around the world.
So
I'm sorry. I did not.
so this is him.
I apologize for the
Oklahoma,
entire
talking to the
educational system
having
of the United States.
hearing for the education secretary, and they let him speak. So I'll just leave it at that. So let's move on. So Mark Wayne, he always talks. He's never served a day in his life, but he wants you to think he has. I mentioned this on our last live. So watch this.
It loss of life. When the president first came out and he talked to the American people, he was very resolved and direct on what we could expect. War is ugly. It smells bad, and if anybody's ever been there and been able to smell the war that's happened around you and taste it and feel it in your nostrils and hear it, it's something that you'll never forget. And it's ugly. And fortunately, you have President Hegseth, or I say President Hegseth, Secretary Hegseth, that has got a great relationship with President Trump, and President Hegseth's been there. He's done that. You have Chairman Kaine, who has fought those wars in Iraq, and he understands what is facing us. However, we also have the complete understanding with complete resolve that we will win and be successful and eliminate the threat that's been at us for 47 years.
So this is recent, right? This is like a week ago. He was on Fox News. And I just want to say this one thing. He is so proud of that interview. He put this on his own YouTube channel. That's where I got this from. Mark Wayne Mullen's YouTube.
Oh, I have met this man. I mean, not him specifically, but y'all know I'm from Florida and that my grandparents lived in a rural town, a farming town. And when I tell you that I have met this man, I know exactly what his type is like. And let me tell you, we are not disturbed enough. We are not concerned enough about the fact that he might lead the whole ass, DHS. I just hate it. I hate it so much.
The Teamsters president challenge to a fight on the committee floor should have been enough.
Yeah.
You know what though? Actually, let's let him do that next time.
Perfect.
Let him.
I'd
Let's
love
do
to
a
do it
whole
now.
duel. Sorry.
But this is like really shows his personality. And he always totes that was an MMA fighter, 3 amateur
fights.
fights.
He had 3 fights.
Did he win any of them?
Two of the decisions were by dropout, and one was a decision. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big
Oh,
guy.
stop it.
Is that your solution?
Oh, no, sit down. Sit down.
And Bernie
You're
Sanders.
a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh,
Can I respond? This is
Hold it. If we
Hold
can't,
it.
no,
This is
I have the
what
mic.
he
I'm sorry.
This is
Hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your time.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't.
No, you
This is
can't.
a hearing. And God knows the American people have enough of contempt for Congress. Let's not
I don't
make
like
it worse.
thugs.
You have,
And that's
you
what-
have
I don't like you because you
Hold
just
it.
described yourself.
Hold it. You have the mic.
Yeah.
You have time.
All right.
Make your statement.
Then let's do this, because I did challenge you and I accepted your challenge, and you went quiet.
No, I didn't go quiet.
Hold on.
You challenged me to a cage match,
No,
acting like a
sir.
12-year-old schoolyard bully.
Excuse
That's exactly what he should have said. And didn't Mark Wayne Mullen challenge somebody to a duel?
Well,
I'm saying we should just let that happen. Let that play out. Like, just make sure that the other person is a good shot. Like, I'm ready at this point. Like,
Yeah.
just start having public duels. Like, maybe
You know,
we can take out some of these
He
people.
argued that dueling has a long tradition
Long-
in the Senate.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, guys.
Yeah, in like 1756. What do you mean?
I met him the night of the State of the Union. And I was like, Senator Mullins, you know, I acted real friendly. Like, I know you have a ranch with horses. I used to barrel race and rodeos. And he goes, oh, you know, there's an old joke about how the ropers would chase the barrel racers and the barrel racers would chase us, the bull riders. Now, I'm 65 years old. Why is he telling me that?
What? Are you, wait, Susan, are you telling me that he told you he was a rodeo rider?
Yeah, he was a bull rider.
He was a bull rider?
Yeah.
In a bar? Or
And so
Yeah, let me tell you, that is the other thing. That part of my family has a legacy of like rodeo people. I'm not into that, but like there are people. That man does not look like a rodeo king. Are you kidding me?
And I forgot to come back to that. Was the rodeo, the bull riders think
He is saying
8
it.
seconds is long.
Bull riding has been in my family for generations.
That's
Fun
funny,
fact.
Susan.
But
That's really good.
I did tell
Funny
him, I
video.
said, I helped with Kendra Horn. And he's like, oh, yeah, she's a good gal. And I'm like, oh, my God.
No, I don't believe that he has ever been on a horse or, excuse me, a bull for longer. Actually, you know what? We should encourage it. We should encourage it. It's a very dangerous sport. Actually, why don't we should be having him do that on the weekends quite frequently.
Don't they brag
Let's do
about how
it.
many bones they've broken?
Yeah.
I don't see any.
They
It's a
brag about 8 seconds being long.
it's a whole
I think he's a
whole
coward.
subculture.
Yeah, he's not. So, okay. All right. So the big
That's
deal
depressing. This is
yesterday was
depressing.
that the
Stop making
hearing.
me agree with Rand Paul.
I know.
So let's watch this because I didn't realize. I mean, I knew his neighbor beat his ass, and I was pretty much happy with that. But damn, this
Now
is
I'm not.
I didn't know it was that
You
bad.
just disliked me so much that you approved of violence against me. People could just write it off. Well, maybe they hate each other. But really, there's a pattern of this. Let's go ahead and roll the tape.
Oh, you know what?
You stand up, Bob. You stand up, Bob.
You know what? This is the wrong thing. All right, guys.
You know, it's
Totally
silly,
wrong.
it's stupid, but every now and then you get punched in the face.
But I should put
They
But anyway,
hate
Rand,
each other.
Rand Paul goes on to tell us the whole story of how he was beaten by his neighbors. He broke like I don't know how many ribs. He was, coughing up blood in severe pain.
Had
I
part of
didn't
the
realize it
lung
was that
removed.
bad. And I think his whole point of that was to get an apology out of Mark Wayne Mullen, and that did not happen. He did
No.
not get an apology, which was like really kind of sad. But it was also awkward. Like the way Mark Wayne Mullen was just like sitting there, like.
And Rand Paul's point was that if you have this personality, and the reason that you're up for this job is because of the violence perpetrated under the last director, what is to say that that is going to change under your direction when you have a propensity towards violence?
Yeah.
And he could not adequately respond to that.
That's crazy. I mean, did you guys all see it? Did you see the clip?
Yeah.
I mean, see him yesterday?
Was it yesterday? Oh my God.
Wasn't it yesterday?
What is time?
It was yesterday, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hold
I
on,
was
let me
thinking, dude, you've crossed the line now.
This I cannot. Okay, I'm gonna say stuff that's gonna get me in trouble. So this man is. I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna throw it away. That's bad.
I could have sworn I had let me silence this and let it play. That is not the video I recorded. I don't know what the hell happened.
I'd help you out, but I don't.
All right.
have
Well,
it.
oh wait, maybe this is it. Hold on.
A Trump-hating felon attacked me from behind in my yard. I was just straightening up from picking up a tree limb. I was wearing noise cancellation headphones. Never saw him coming. Running pell-mell down the hill. I was struck in the back. The force of the blow sent us through the air nearly 10 feet, down the hill until his shoulder impaled me as we hit the ground. 6 of my ribs were broken. 3 of the ribs were completely separated, such that for weeks, the ends of the ribs would grind upon each other. My lung was damaged. For weeks, I could inhale, but not have the rib strength to exhale. I developed 2 pneumonias. The pain was such that I could only sit up in bed by tying a rope to the foot of the bed and pulling myself up. But even then, the pain was that of 1,000 knives. Over the year of recovery, I began to cough up blood. I underwent removal of part of my lung. Complications led to an infection in the space between my lung and chest wall. I spent a week in the hospital having the infection lavaged every 6 hours through a chest tube. Recently, Senator Mullen, you were confronted by constituents that were angry because you voted against my amendment to stop all funding for refugee welfare programs. Instead of explaining your vote to continue these welfare programs for refugees, you decided to transfer the blame. You told the media that I was a freaking snake and that you completely understood why I had been assaulted. I was shocked that you would justify and celebrate this violent assault that caused me so much pain and my family so much pain. I just wonder if someone who applauds violence against their political opponents is the right person to lead an agency that has struggled to accept limits to the proper use of force. Instead of defending your vote, you took to continue the vote to continue these refugee welfare programs. You chose to lash out at me. You went on to brag that you'd already told me to my face that you completely understood and approved of the assault. Well, that's a lie. You got a chance today. You can either continue to lie or you can correct the record. You have never had the courage to look me in the eye and tell me that the assault was justified. So today you'll have your chance. Today I'll give you that chance to clear the record. Tell it to my face. If that's what you believe, tell it to me today. Tell the world why you believe I deserve to be assaulted from behind, have 6 ribs broken and a damaged lung. Tell me to my face why you think I deserved it. And while you're at it, explain to the American public why they should trust a man with anger issues to set the proper example for ICE and Border Patrol agents. Explain to the American public how a man who has no regrets about brawling in a Senate committee can set a proper example for over 250,000 men and women who work at the Department of Homeland Security.
I don't know. I thought that was great. I enjoyed it.
That part where he says, like, you know, I don't know if someone who's touting violence is the person that needs to be heading up a department that's been accused of too much violence, like unmitigated. That was a soundbite and a half. Like, I don't think that got as much attention as it deserved, because that is the whole.
Right there. That's
it. Yeah. And everybody should go home, because and I think we all knew. I mean, we all said last week that this is actually somehow worse than Kristi Noem because this guy's an idiot. Like, and it's not just that he didn't go to college. We've talked about this at length. Just because someone doesn't go to college does not mean that they aren't capable of performing great things, but it does mean that they need to have some experience in the field. And this man, not only does he not have that, but he's also shown a deep unwillingness to learn and is proud about being ignorant in a lot of respects. Like he's happy about the little that he does know. And this is not good. Like Chris said earlier, he is not curious. Like, and that is a problem. That is a problem for someone heading up any department at all, but especially DHS with everything that's gone on.
Now, I was proud of Rand Paul for that. I was like, I don't agree with him.
I hate it when they make me agree with Rand Paul. I hate it.
Michelle says, can we switch Rand Paul for Fetterman? Yes, please. Like,
I'll take him.
I'd almost rather switch anybody for Fetterman.
Well,
oh God,
this is the time every week where I apologize for John Fetterman.
Yeah, because Mark Wayne Mullen is on his way to being confirmed.
That's crazy that it's down to John Fetterman. Like, I saw that headline and I was like, God damn. Oh, what?
So I will be repenting for this for the rest of my life.
Why? Oh,
because I voted for him. Not the general, because the opposition was Dr. Oz. That would have been worse. But in the primary, we had a very, very good candidate in the primary that ran against him, and
I try to tell everybody Connor Lamb was a better option. Okay, watch this. This is election security, okay, which we have been talking about. This man is going to be in charge of Homeland Security, in charge of ICE, who I've been saying that's Trump's secret police, and he has been asked some questions yesterday.
Citizen of the United States.
That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about administering the elections. If you are Secretary of Homeland Security, do you feel you have the authority to put uniformed officers at polling locations in 2026?
Ma'am, we said this in your office. The only reason why my officers would be there if there was a specific threat for them to be there, not for intimidation. And
so
I said
even though we
didn't
need it during World War II, we didn't need it during Vietnam or the War on Terror, we never had to put uniformed military there. Now, you feel that there's going to be a reason that there's going to be an armed threat to the United States that you need to potentially be there?
I can't sit there and guarantee hypothetically what threat would be and not. I'm not putting military. That's not within my
uniformed officers.
But if there is a threat, a specific threat, say it's in a Jewish community, and there is a threat that's specific to that polling area, then we will work with local law enforcement. There'll be a reason for us to be there, and it'll be known why we're there.
We can't fix the 2020 election.
So that was yesterday, and then this is a year ago. Well, 2025, June 17th. And I just want to make this, I want to ask y'all, does anybody think that this administration is beyond manufacturing a security crisis if it's going to perhaps help them win the election? I mean,
I think they manufactured an assassination attempt, so they'd happily do that.
I mean, it's in their wheelhouse at this point.
I think
it's the idea is preventing something like that from ever happening again. That's our number one goal here. What we can't fix the problem if we can't fully identify it. And I think we can all agree there was a problem. So it's it's incumbent on us to prevent it from moving forward. And I agree. I don't want to federalize the elections. Absolutely, worst thing we want to do is federalize the elections.
Really?
Because God forbid Democrats get in control again, then they will turn all of our states this way. So we need to keep state laws and allow states to be able to set their elections. That's the way that our founding fathers wanted it to be. But we need to have some security put in place that will make sure that people know that our elections are secure.
So this video is going to come in handy. I guarantee you this is going to.
I will be playing that a lot. But I would also like to point out that once again, it's always projection. Every single accusation is a confession. Yeah. And did y'all see the story about the Georgia official that voted 9 times? And he was being charged because he had voted 9 times. This Republican. It's always there's very little voter fraud. it's
Not enough
minuscule.
to swing an election.
They've proven that time and time again. But like, wouldn't you know, the times that it's always these Republicans coming. It's always Republicans. It's not immigrants. It's not undocumented immigrants. It's Republicans. And so here's this man again. I mean, it takes a lot for me to like what Alyssa Slotkin is saying. So I'm just, again, I would like to point out that when you make Alyssa Slotkin look like the reasonable person that's like vigorously pointing out something with like, that's very obviously and articulately said, then you are on the wrong side, sir. Oh God, that's a nightmare.
So here's another thing I want y'all to see. I wish Democrats yesterday, I don't know if I have a clip of the one. Yeah, I don't think I do. Remember yesterday they were talking to him about his trip, and he was basically saying it was a classified trip. They were asking him questions. Okay, so that was supposedly in 2016. I wish they had asked him about this trip. Let's see, is this the right one? Here we go.
So, this was official trip, and it is classified.
Okay, yeah. This is from yesterday, and the one on the bottom, so this is side by side. The one on the bottom is one they did not ask him about, and I wish they had.
But in 2015, I was asked to train with a very small contingency and go to a certain area, which was scheduled for 2016. During that time, I was asked to go through, had to meet certain training qualifications, had to go through SEER training. The training and stuff was kind of fun. The SEER training was absolutely awful. And I have spoken in general about my experiences, but I've never spoke specifically on details, on dates, or on the mission. And that was official. And there was nothing in the report to the committee. Actually, it said you do not have to claim any official trips. And like I said, that was an official trip that is classified.
This is an official trip while you were a member of Congress?
Yes. 2015, 2016, I was a member of Congress. Some of it may be public, but it would be very small. Most of it, because of my recollection, which we're going back 10 years, I think there was only 4 people read in on it.
So where was that trip?
I just said it's classified, sir.
Republican Oklahoma Congressman Mark Wayne Mullen says he's headed back to the United States.
So this is 2022, this next clip, when we pulled out of Afghanistan. But listen to this closely.
Writing in an Instagram post, he, quote, went dark for a little. During his trip, Mullen, in his second attempt to enter Afghanistan in 2 weeks, threatened U.S. embassy staff in Tajikistan, becoming outraged when they denied his request for help in carrying a huge amount of cash through the country for an unauthorized evacuation effort in neighboring Afghanistan.
We have made it abundantly clear that travel to Afghanistan is not safe.
Mullen's actions alarmed top U.S. officials, according to the Post, and defied House leadership in both parties. Mullen is not a veteran. He's a former MMA fighter and small business owner who's been in Congress since 2012.
Why didn't they ask him about that trip? There were 2 trips that he took to Afghanistan, unsanctioned trips. He was told not to go by the State Department and by Congress. Both Republicans and Democrats were like, don't do this. He went anyway, and they wouldn't let him in. What, to me, that should have been like a major topic yesterday. I was like shocked that they bring that up.
I was too. This man. I feel like people in the neurodivergent community surely have to feel especially upset about this, because it's like we have the injustice of the fact that this man is a senator. You know how many senators we've had in our history? Not that many comparatively, not proportionate to the population. And this man is one of the highest ranking politicians being considered for a position to oversee a major department. And I would not trust this man as a barista at my Starbucks. Like, this is crazy. Not that I go to Starbucks anymore, but that's aside. The point is, this man is so thoroughly underqualified for all of it. And you know what? Actually, this is a good point. This is a good point to mention. All the people that are watching this right now, if you're considering a career in politics, or you know what, any career at all, you should do it. He don't ever have imposter syndrome, because Markwayne Mullin exists. So if this man can almost head, and probably will head, the Department of Homeland Security, you can do whatever the fuck you want, because this man doesn't have any business being there. So like, up is down and left is right, and you might as well just post the video or run for Congress. Got to be better than this guy.
Thanks, Casey. I think I will stay on the panel.
I wanted to remove the comments for a second. This is the propaganda that Fox News. So I'm imagining on Fox's, I don't watch Fox, that they're hearing this shit. A MAGA warrior and former undefeated professional MMA fighter, 3 fights, amateur. Markwayne truly gets along well with people and knows the wisdom and courage required to advance our America First agenda. That's what Donald Trump says, and that's what they made a meme of. So
Translation: Markwayne is a sycophant.
Yeah. All right.
But he's just I'm never going to get over this. I say that a lot with this administration, but like, really, this is going to be one of those things I do not get over. It's kind of like when they said Ted Cruz might be a SCOTUS nominee, like, absolutely not over my dead body. Like, I just feel like we are bringing the least. They are asking for the most, and we are bringing the least and the worst of the least. That's crazy. Ugh, now Tulsi Gabbard. God.
But
it's like, just keeps getting worse.
Okay. This isn't a long clip, but we have to.
These topics suck.
She got called. She got caught in a lie, in my opinion. Watch this, see if you all think she's
not participate in a law enforcement activity, nor would I, because that does not exist within my authorities.
You were present on the scene. Are the photos of you on the scene false?
I was at Fulton County, sir, at the request of the president, and to work with the FBI to observe this action that had long been awaited. I was not aware of what was in the warrant or was not in the warrant.
And what was the president's specific request for you to go to? What was the specific request that was made by the president for you to show up in Fulton County?
To go and observe the FBI's activities on this issue.
So when
you look at the fort, your question, sir.
Do you have the answer why the president was knowing about this affidavit before it was even served?
I'm not aware that the president knew about an affidavit before it was served.
Then why was he sending you to Fulton County?
This occurred the day that the FBI had it approved, their warrant approved by a local judge, and they began to execute this.
Why did he send you to Fulton County if he didn't know about it? Like, how was that arranged? And she's like stuttering, trying to cover it up. I mean, lie. Like,
This is the same. This is in the same category as the Scott Bessent thing we were talking about earlier. That nobody is actually doing their job. They're all just kind of.
Yeah.
Donald Trump says, "Oh, send so and so," totally unaware of what their job actually is. If the people in the positions even know what their job is, which in her case, I don't know that she does, or that she's actually doing it.
Right.
I feel like it's no. It's like, to me, everything is piecemeal, and it's really like when you try to, so my grandmother used to do this thing called cafeteria, where really what it was is she just wanted to empty out her refrigerator, but she convinced all the grandkids that like it was a cafeteria. She put all the leftovers out on the counter, and you try to make a meal out of it. It's great. My grandmother was very sustainable before it was fashionable. But anyway, the point is, like, you're trying to make something out of. Yeah, that's exactly right. You're trying to make something out of things that don't really go together and don't fit together, and you're doing it to save money. You're doing it to basically make something out of nothing. And that is what this whole ass cabinet is like. They are just sending people out to do things they are thoroughly unqualified for, because all they have is this. Like, they've brought in these people that are loyal to Trump, and that's really what their trait was, right? Like, what was their selling point? Because they were willing to do whatever he wanted. That's it. It's not because they were the most qualified. It's not because they had the most experience. It's because they were willing to do whatever the fuck this administration wanted. And when you have a bunch of those people all sitting around and you're trying to make a meal out of it, it doesn't work. Like, you're not, like, you can't eat that. It's all gone bad. Not that my grandmother didn't feed me bad food. I'm just saying, the point is,
I love that idea, cafeteria. Yeah.
It is. It's real. I've tried to do it with my kids, and they're like, "What the hell is this?"
Buffet.
Yeah. buffet. That's it now.
All right, listen to this one. This is Tulsi Gabbard on nuclear bombs and whatnot, and this is a before and after, right?
Continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The intelligence community assessed that Iran maintained the intention to rebuild and to continue to grow their nuclear enrichment capability.
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
That is terrifying. First of all, for flip-flopping, but like this man that has dementia and the nuclear codes is the deciding factor. He's not getting advice and he's not listening to advice.
I maintain the intention of winning an NBA championship.
Right.
I don't know that that's going to happen for me, but I maintain the intention of it.
Oh, it's sad. My God.
It's really concerning. This entire you know what though? I would say I would like the confidence of anybody in this. I always never thought of myself as not having confidence until I saw the Trump administration. And I'm like, look at that level of, I mean, it's denial, but it's also confidence. Like they have all been taken aside in a meeting. Like she was prepped for this, and this is why they have that era of entitlement that we see with like KK Carolyn, where they start getting mad that you're questioning them because they have been told that they're right, because they have been told that they're qualified, because they have been told that they're the best, and that how dare anybody question them. And that so she comes into this hearing and it's very clear that they don't have any idea what's going on, and that this, again, the one person that has no business leading this country is the one that is. Oh God, we're fucked.
And then he's getting no pushback.
Right.
There's nobody guarding no one.
Yeah, Susan, I don't understand that, because always in the history of politics, right? Like we've seen ebbs and flows. We've seen ups and downs, and there's usually people that are ready to pounce, right? Like there's opportunists that are like, this is my chance to get in, and I'm gonna, like, I know this is a sinking ship, so I'm gonna come out and people are gonna get behind me. And this is why we see realignments happen, and there's a lot of change in politics for that reason, because people see an opportunity in. And I'm shocked that we haven't seen more people pull a Marjorie Taylor Greene or a Thomas Massie, but even then, like, there's limitations to those. I'm surprised we haven't seen somebody positioning themselves. Like there's something behind the scenes that's happening that I guess I just don't understand, because they seem all pretty content to ride this thing into the ground. They're like, Titanic, fine. Like, we'll just, no reason to get on the lifeboats. Let's just stay for the ambience. I don't understand it at all. Do you know what I mean though? Like normally somebody at this point would have been like, this administration is so unpopular. They're so deeply unpopular right now that surely somebody else could come in and start speaking out against that. Like, are they really all that afraid? Is that what it is?
I think you have the cult members and you have the ones that have been blackmailed.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the Jim Jones type thing. These people think of him that way.
You know, going back to Mark Wayne Mullen for a sec, I think this will be really telling, because I think a lot with oh my God, I forgot, what was our last HHS secretary?
Kristi Noem.
Thank you. I think a lot of that was Stephen Miller. I think a lot, like that whole the way they were going about ICE was Stephen Miller's plan. Now, I don't know. Do you guys know if he gets along with Mark Wayne Mullen and Stephen Miller are good with each other? Because that could be the difference.
I would think that Stephen Miller would find him contemptible.
I would think so too. Like I'm a little bit like, I don't know if I'm not saying it's gonna be better, but I don't think it's gonna go the Stephen Miller playbook.
He certainly seems to come across as someone that feels that he is an intellectual heavyweight. And I can't imagine him even having a conversation with Mark Wayne Mullen and not being disgusted.
And I bet you they're going to come to blows, because I'm trying to figure out, I guess I would put my money on Mark Wayne Mullen for that one. Because, Stephen Miller looks puny or scrawny. Not that Markwayne Mullin is a towering.
I don't know. I feel like Markwayne Mullin's probably really stupid and bad at stuff. So I wonder if Stephen Miller could, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like the scrawnier guy that finds a way to like trick him and he runs off a cliff. The other guy does. Like, I don't know. Like, I just.
Well, vampires can be very small and yet they're very powerful.
That's true. That's very true.
Stephen Miller.
But I'm telling you, watch that, because I think that if those two aren't on the same page, it's going to be very interesting. Okay, so yesterday also we had Pam Bondi's hearing, or actually that was a closed door hearing.
No, a fake briefing is what it was.
Yeah, fake briefing.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you can do your thing and then I'll explain.
I was so proud of our Democrats yesterday, and you don't hear me say that too much. I'm sorry.
You do not.
They did the exact right thing. Hold on. Here.
To me, it's very clear that the purpose of this entire fake hearing, this fake deposition, is the Attorney General trying to weasel herself out of sitting in front of us under oath, under a bipartisan subpoena that we gave her committee. We asked her multiple times, are you going to come and speak with us under oath? She would not say yes. Filibuster, filibuster, filibuster would not say yes. And so why do we, and then our Republican colleagues say, is this not enough? Why don't you want to speak to her now? We want her under oath because we do not trust her. Why don't we trust her? Because she's a liar. Look at how that Judiciary Committee hearing went. She was spying on members of Congress when they were in the DOJ looking at the documents unredacted.
Yeah.
Look at what she's done as far as not putting documents relating to Donald Trump on the website, not releasing them, and only doing it when the public noticed and said something about it.
So just real quick, we've been talking about this, and Republicans, when Biden was, president, they would go on Fox News every fucking night and tell their version of the narrative. They would come out and spin that shit, and our Democrats were kind of not doing that. They were kind of silent. They weren't on all the shows every night. This Maxwell Frost last night killed it with this, because they came out of this hearing or briefing and went straight on MS Now. And my understanding is they also went on CNN. They told the truth. And here's the rest.
We want her under oath because we don't trust her. We want her under oath because she has shown that she is involved in a cover-up. My Republican colleagues under the last administration would not stand for this, with Merrick Garland being in front of them not being under oath. They wouldn't allow that to happen for a second. So we see this for what it is. This is not a briefing. A briefing is when we sit down and we're getting information from the person giving the briefing. That didn't happen here. She sat down. They started the clock like a hearing. It's a hearing. It's a fake deposition where no one can see what's going on, where there's zero transcription, where it's not on C-SPAN or anything, and where no one is under oath and they are allowed to freely lie to members of Congress.
She has to come in and answer our questions, and we're not going to allow when we have.
I just want to also point out this is within 30 minutes. So the one on top, this is them coming out after the briefing or whatever, and then next we have this interview and this happens.
I'm sorry to interject. I'm being told Pam Bondi is speaking live right now. We're going to go to her, and then you all on the other side.
Can you explain what you mean by identify? You mean victims' names that were released that shouldn't have been?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
So
then also other items.
yeah. So under the Epstein Transparency Act, we had 30 days to redact and release, under the law that was passed, 3 million documents. If you stack those up, that's the height of the Eiffel Tower. No other administration, under the Biden administration, they released 0 documents. So we did our very best
They
to
didn't have the law
comply
there.
with the law. And of course, we don't want any victim to be further victimized. And that's why we had 500 attorneys with the Criminal Division, with the National Security Division, with the FBI working around the clock to do the best we could. I think it was less than 1% error.
Anybody want to get that one? She said 30 days, 3 million documents.
What I heard was we didn't follow the law because it was hard.
Yeah. And
too hard.
This is the same woman that said the files were on her desk.
Yeah.
3 million.
The list was on her desk. The list of perpetrators that now does not exist.
I don't know if she'll be the first Go ahead, Susan.
Her voice got a little sweeter. You know, it's like.
Oh, she was definitely nicer there than she was in the hearings when she said.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
There
Yeah,
was a
she
part
was-
of that. There was a part of that clip where she said, you know, I think maybe right after this, where she says it was a 1% error rate, said something like, you know, there were 1,200 victim names to redact. And I'm thinking, whoa, wait a second. You said Jeffrey Epstein was the only perpetrator. Are you telling me that he personally
Great point, Chris.
trafficked
Yeah.
1,200 women?
Good job.
I mean, those are some Wilt Chamberlain numbers.
Right?
That's an old school reference.
I got it. I got it.
Okay, so Summer Lee's turn.
To our lawful
Oops.
subpoena.
Wait a minute, what happened here?
Oh, and by the way, while you're queuing it up, I made a video of this with, so my commentary is at the front, but if you want to fast forward through me, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can see I have both the videos from Representative Ansari and Representative Summer Lee, who spoke about what happened behind the closed doors in that briefing. Like they both put up like TikTok or like, you know, whatever videos for social media. And I put those at, so if you want to see the full clips, they're on my YouTube right now. And if you want them in one place, I'm saying, you can find them anywhere, I'm sure, if you're on social media, but they're there.
All right, let's see here. I think we are having an issue again.
To our lawful
There's like this technical glitch.
in a deposition.
All
So
right,
instead-
y'all keep talking. I'll be right back.
Okay, so basically what happened is, and this is what I said in my commentary, is they were like, hey, so how do we make it look like she's like doing the bidding of this oversight committee without actually doing it? I know. Let's have this fake ass briefing, and they didn't even know. Like the representatives had no idea that they were even going to be able to ask questions until like right beforehand. And so then they all show up, and Comer's there, and she's just not going to answer any of their questions. And so they're like, I'm out. Like, we don't have fucking time for this. Like, what do you mean? Like, you've gathered us here for this dog and pony show? No. Like, and this is what I want to see.
Well,
okay.
yeah,
This is what I want to see on the main floor. Like, I want to see what they did, this group. And if you notice, a lot of these are younger politicians. I want to point that out. Like, right. But we'll let Summer Lee speak.
It's wonderful. Okay, so we have
Yeah.
the clip.
lawful subpoena in a deposition. So instead I asked Chairman Comer if he would compel her to come to our deposition. If she did not come, would he force her to, or if he would move for contempt hearings as he did for other people who did not respond to our subpoena? Instead of answering as an adult, he said that I was bitching, which is, again, something that would not be allowed if we were operating under the rules of this committee, because engaging in personalities is actually something that we are not able to do. If C-SPAN and the public were there, I'd imagine that he would not act that way. Neither here nor there, we expected AG Bondi to be adversarial. We expected her to be confrontational. And we expected her to not offer us much information. But that's why I introduced impeachment articles, because she has already been obstructing justice. She has already weaponized the DOJ. She has already ended investigations into Trump and his allies. She has used this role essentially as one to help the president. She does not answer to the president. The DOJ does not have the right or the privilege of withholding information from an active investigation, ignoring the laws of our land, which the Epstein Transparency Act is, with our subpoena from last July is. And the oversight Dems will continue to press for accountability. We'll continue to press for justice for survivors while also keeping them centered in this. So at the end of the day, we are still here seeking answers for women, for girls, and for the American public who has demanded justice, who have demanded answers to this, and whether or not they will pretend that the documents that they've given us is enough, we already know that they have not complied, and we are asking other people to make sure that we do not let them off the hook right now. So we look forward to her on the record deposition with our committee in response to our lawful subpoena.
Disbar
Continue, Casey. Sorry.
Yeah, I love Summer Lee. First of all, I love Representative Lee. She's great. She actually commented on my TikTok video, or excuse me, Instagram video, because I tagged her there. And she said, and I'll quote her, but I want to point out it's interesting. She said, if he wants to say I'm bitching, he can do it in a sworn deposition where it's recorded and transcribed. And I said, amen. But Instagram hid that because she said bitching. So that comment got hidden. But I think, her pointing that out, and this is exactly what this administration has done over and over and over, is they keep trying to take things back to these closed door, like shadowy meetings, and they don't want to do anything on the record because they're obviously breaking the law at every single point. Pam Bondi has absolutely no designs on showing up for a deposition to answer any, like we saw last time what it looked like. It's going to be a repeat of that. And I would like the Democrats to do what they just did here, right? But public, but on the main floor, because this was obviously like a behind the scenes meeting. A lot of people weren't aware of it. Like a lot of people didn't see this press conference. And there wasn't a lot of coverage of it. And I feel like this is the kind of behavior we need to see on the main floor, where they start calling them to account and saying, no, we will not proceed. We are not going forward. We are not, this will be on record for everyone to see and discuss, and you will be held accountable. And stop allowing the Republicans to dictate what's acceptable, because that comment by James Comer, the like, oh, like it's just like you're bitching kind of thing, that is quintessential. This is quintessential Trump Republicans, is basically, y'all are making a big deal about this. No, we're fucking not. This is how our government works. Y'all have come in like a rodeo sideshow, making us all look ridiculous. You're the ones that are in contempt, should be held that way, and y'all all should be going to prison. But I look forward to that day.
It's a very misogynistic comment too. He would
100%.
Word a man.
Absolutely. 100%. Never would say that.
Here she is bitch talking about it more.
Me.
I just walked out of a fake deposition, fake hearing with Pam Bondi, where Chairman Comer called me a bitch. So here's what actually happened. We had already subpoenaed her because she has not been in compliance with our subpoena and the Epstein Transparency Act to release the full, complete, unredacted Epstein files. She has been withholding them. She has been obstructing justice since last July. And a couple weeks ago, we finally got bipartisan support to subpoena her, to bring her into our committee to ask questions. Now, today's attempt, sham of a hearing, was your attempt to bypass that. Multiple times we asked her if she would come in and she would talk to our committee on the record, under oath, in the public. She refused to do so. So instead of directing any more questions to her where she's not under oath, where she can continue to lie to us, I directed my questions to our chairman to see if he would compel her to comply with the subpoena that he signed and that he issued. He could not respond. I asked him if she did not come, if he would hold her in contempt, move with contempt proceedings like he did with other people who he said did not comply with our subpoenas. And instead of answering this simple question with a yes, of course, he said that I was bitching and that I was wasting his time and that we didn't have to talk about this anymore. So that's where we are. That's why we are trying to move to impeach her. That's why we introduced those articles of impeachment, because it is clear that she has no intention on cooperating with Congress. She has no intention on cooperating with the American people. She is not seeking justice for survivors or anyone else. She is there to run cover for Donald Trump, for his allies, and for herself. And it's time that we get her out of there.
Indeed.
That's exactly it. That needs to be said more.
Yes.
This needs to be said more. And I like. Go ahead.
The point was made by several other Congress people that they were supposed to have complete unredacted access to all of the files. And it's not just that they haven't been released to the public. It's that the Congress people haven't even been given complete unrestricted access to all of the files.
Yeah.
So not only are they not, not only is Bondi not complying with the public portion of the law, she's not complying with the internal portion of the law.
I was shocked that there were only a couple computers available for them to be searching on that. I didn't realize that. And I don't think a lot of people understand that they had like 3 or 4 computers amongst all those members of Congress to go look at those portions of the files that had been previously redacted or whatnot. And I know that Massey and Kana had both said that a lot of these files had come from the FBI redacted and they shouldn't have been. And so they were having to track those down. And I haven't heard anything about what has happened with that. I don't know. Like, we haven't even heard. Except for Goldman. I did put the video of Goldman up if anybody wants to see that, where he's making the accusation against Trump. That's there too. That happened yesterday, right? Or
Yeah, so much happened yesterday. I think I'm pretty sure it
Well,
was
it was like yesterday was a nightmare. Okay, all right, BB, where's BB? Where's
Okay,
BB?
So so he's been missing for how many days now? Since last week?
Yeah, it's been at least a week.
Yeah. So there's all these theories that he is no longer on this earth, and they are not making it any better with these obvious AI. So here, watch this one.
מה שאלת אותי? ראש הממשלה אומרים ברשת שאתה בכלל מת? אני מת על קפה, אתה יודע מה? אני מת על העם שלי. איך הם מתנהגים, פנטסטי. אתה רוצה לספור את מספר האצבעות? אתה יכול להראות לנו? פה. פה. ראית? יפה מאוד. לחיים. אתה חושב של המסר לאנשים שיוצאים ומתאווררים? לצאת להתאוורר, אבל ליד מרחב מוגן. והעמידה שלכם היא מדהימה, נותנת כוח.
So, there was already the rumors. I was already aware of the rumors, and I thought, no, whatever. And people had like DM'd about it, and I saw this, and it fooled me. I was like, oh, he just posted a video in a coffee shop, and he's, we cannot believe proof of life videos anymore, ever again, because so people clock this as AI. So
אני מת על העם שלי. איך הם מתנהגים, פנטסטי.
I'm not sold on this part though.
אני מת על קפה, אתה יודע מה? אני מת על העם שלי.
I'm not sold on that because you could get a really good head of foam on a cappuccino. You could.
Keep watching.
Okay.
רוצה לספור את מספר אצבעות? אתה יכול להראות לנו? פה.
The pocket, the hand.
Look at the pocket move.
There it is.
I mean,
the ring one was the one where I was like, that's just indisputable. That's 100%
we're gonna go through these
indisputable.
real quick. We're gonna go through these real quick.
Yeah, these are crazy, by the way.
We gon' rock it till the wheels fall off. Hold up.
I mean, they're not missing a beat with this, but it's like I said, they're not doing any favors. So watch this other. So then I think was it 2 days went by, or maybe another day went by?
It was the next day. So this one happened, and then the next day this other one comes out where he's visiting with tourists or people.
And the rumors were just getting more intense on all the socials.
Yeah.
X, Blue Sky, TikTok for sure.
ושיר. תודה לכם. תודה לכם.
Is that the same jacket?
קצת לספוג שמש.
I think it was supposed to be the same place, maybe.
של מי הכלב? איזה סוג זה? נענית ישראלית, כל הכבוד. טוב, גם לא מגיע קצת. לכולכם מגיע. כן. יצאתם להתעורר קצת? כן. יפה מאוד. תראה, על ירושלים, יש משהו יותר יפה מזה? אין על ירושלים, נהדר.
הוא השתגע מזה.
שמע, אני זוכר את זה.
אתה זוכר?
So here's the other thing that's...
Wait, does that one show the ring? Does that show the ring disappear? Okay, okay.
I just want to say something here. I was talking to a friend of mine who has family in Israel, and she was talking about how scared they are. Nobody's going outside. They're going to get food, and that's it. They're pretty much, they're not going about their ways of life. And this, to me, comes across as propaganda because he's out here socializing. They're like, they don't have a care in the world. Besides the fact that I guess it's AI, it just seems very like, if this were real, I clock this as propaganda. Like, oh, we're going on life as normal and we're bombing, Iran, but we're good.
זה היה במטוס. אוקיי, תמסרו לו דרך.
Here's the ring.
איזה יופי. שלום. שלום לכם. גם אתם יצאתם קצת להתעורר? מרחב מוגן, איפה את יודעת?
ממש שמה, בטח. א' ב' זה לבדוק.
כמה צעדים מכאן, נכון?
All right, well, let's move on. So
it's at least some really bad camera work.
I mean,
So see, there's a ring and then it disappears.
That's bad.
That's a
Yeah.
ring.
I don't like that.
Ring, then it disappears, and then there's a ring again.
Maybe he's a magician.
I
Have you considered that?
have not considered that.
Well, okay.
Wow.
That's bad.
So can we start a new show? Where in the world is Netanyahu?
Oh my God, it fits. But it's like, that's bad.
That's.
But they keep doing it, which is
Yeah. Every day there's more. Well, and then
No.
somebody was like, oh, these ears are this way. And someone's like, oh, he's always had deformed ears. And I'm like, what? Now we have to pay attention to what people's ears look like? Oh my God, we're fucked.
Oh,
this one
we've
has
done
me
with Trump.
perplexed. I want to hear what y'all think about this one.
Sir, I wanted you to know the president asked me to come and make sure.
Mike Huckabee.
Yeah.
Yes, Mike. Yes, I'm alive.
I checked that, and I'm happy to see that. But he wanted to make sure because.
Okay, I don't know. I'm going to back up a little bit. There's a jump in this. Those of us who edit, just watch really closely. There's a jump in this video that shows it was edited.
Make sure because, you guys get along too well.
I know, and
I think I need to back up further. Sorry.
I wanted you to
Yeah.
know the president asked me to come and make sure you were okay.
yes, Mike.
See?
Yep, there it was. Oh man, it's so
I'm
obvious.
happy to see that, but he
And
wanted to
then-
make sure because.
Yep, there it was again.
Along too well.
I know, and we shake hands with 5 fingers in each hand.
Oh my God.
So watch
That's
this.
bad.
Watch this. Look at his face.
Yeah. So, do you think Huckabee was aware of this, or do you think that
that's what
they
I'm
just
wondering.
put it out there and then he's like, "I guess I was there," like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, is this like a conspiracy now? I mean, what is going on? I don't know.
because somebody
But, like-
said that they thought his son was a stand-in, and that is probably easier to do with AI, right? Like to put in a stand-in that looks very similar to him and doctor it up with AI that way. But
And
I
create a
can't
fake
explain
fact.
Mike Huckabee. I
mean-
can't. Can you imagine Mike Huckabee
wrong-
wakes
I
up
mean,
and he's
has
like
anyone-
had lunch with Netanyahu?
And they're good.
What
They're
is
best friends, apparently.
Wow.
I mean, I wouldn't disbelieve that part. Like that's actually the most believable part of this is that Mike Huckabee would have been like hanging around with Netanyahu. Like Bibi and him are besties. That makes sense.
So this popped up yesterday. Someone pointed out that, they've been saying he died. They clocked when he died. In fact, there's a pretty detailed TikTok video with a guy who's supposed to be really accurate about this kind of shit. And he followed the plane pattern. Have you guys seen that? The flight pattern? That
yeah.
He's basically saying for 4 hours, they kind of like circled off the coast of Israel while they were trying to resuscitate him. Supposedly, Netanyahu and his wife and other people were bombed. So they were taking him out of the country. They were trying to resuscitate him or stabilize him and put him in a medically induced coma for 4 hours. Then they started flying to Europe, skirting all the countries that were refusing access to this flight. And finally, Germany took him in. So this person's pointing out that,
The irony.
his son, who posts
I know.
apparently his son is very active on social media, which I don't have a
Right.
clue who this is. Posts 24/7, took an exact 7-day break on X from 3/8 to 3/15. That lines up precisely with Jewish Shiva mourning period. And then there is, I don't have it first, but President Trump looked visibly shaken on 3/8. And there is a video where Trump is looking more pale. Well, he always has orange, but he looked really,
So
that
but
does track.
What
don't
would be the motivation? You would think that
The motivation for him being dead and them trying to make him seem alive.
it would seem that the motivation would be the opposite were it true that there is your reason to continue the assault. There is your battle cry.
I
is
think it would
to-
be, if they killed
to
Netanyahu,
avenge him.
do you think all hell would break loose?
So it would seem to me that would unify people much more than divide them.
I don't know. This guy's pretty young. I was looking it up. I knew he was young. He's 76. Like, so when they first started reporting that he might be dead, I assumed it was like in some sort of an attack. I didn't think it was like he just had a heart attack. I assumed that. You're telling me that like Donald Trump is somehow going to outlive this dude? Like, don't they have like free healthcare over there? Like, I feel like we're paying for it. I don't know that I believe that this man just died in an airplane. That was way less believable.
They pointed out the date on the coffee cup, I guess, was 2024.
What?
So
God,
maybe, I don't know if they found
good.
a video of him in a coffee shop and made an AI out of it. I don't know. Or this is just a mistake. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing is like everything just plays on, it's like it's a lot easier to make AI out of something that's already pre-existing. So they could have done that, but
Ale coffee, right?
Do we have the video of Trump getting pale on the 8th? I would love to see that.
I don't have that. I don't think I have that.
Oh,
I saw it.
you just like we heard that.
I don't. But this is also was really suspicious. Like there was a military council meeting, and he's always at these meetings, and he wasn't there. So people were like, he wasn't there. So this adds credence to the fact that he was missing or dead or whatever. Then there's this new one that I think was yesterday, or maybe it was early today. It's all running together, where he's at the meeting at one of the meetings, and then. There's one, where are you? They show that something's wrong with the grates and that his jacket disappears at the meeting. Hold on. And then somebody else, oh, here we go. I don't know if wait, hold on. There we go. So see these photos? In the background, there is a jacket. And in the same background, there isn't one. Although my thing about this is this guy here with the olive military jacket is directly to the left of the jacket that they're clocking. And this chair, there's a black jacket. So that's not really making sense to me. But this is the kind of things that are going on social that people are showing. And then someone else says, where are you? Oh, someone else says the image is actually from 2024, that this meeting that they're showing that he's at is not even the right meeting. So
I tweeted, I was like, maybe he went for elective surgery because he does strike me as the kind of man that would put his people at risk into a global, catastrophic World War III and go to a spa and get surgery on his face. Like, I believe it.
If this were like a month ago, but like, come on, they just bombed Iran and he's going on. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. We obviously don't know, but these AIs are not helping. I don't know why they keep putting them out. And they are, one thing we can say for sure, the ones that they've really demonstrated that they're AIs have been coming from his account. He's been posting these videos from his own account. So that alone is just like, what the F, in my opinion. I think the whole thing is.
Yeah, there's something happening. Well, I don't know what else could he be doing. Maybe he is alive, but he's doing something else. And that's why they feel so, because like, if they know he's going to come back and be in the public eye, then they don't mind throwing out some of this AI later because then it's just, they're going to have proof of life and it's fine, right? Like, it's almost like they're calling our bluff because they know they have him alive somewhere, but they don't want him seen for some reason. That's why I joked about it being an elective surgery or something because I was like, oh, that's like funny. He went and got plastic surgery, but what else could he be doing that they wouldn't want him photographed?
We're in the movie Dave situation where he's on life support somewhere.
Right.
And we have Kevin Kline portraying him.
Filling in. That's what it is. It's like there's that. I mean, I was just trying to think of reasons they would do that, because it does feel like because they keep posting them from his account, that's pretty brazen. Like, they feel pretty sure of themselves, which made me feel like he's probably alive, but why wouldn't they just show him? So what's he doing?
I mean, he could be badly injured. It could be that. It could be, and they don't. Again, if you have a weak,
I mean, he could be good. Yeah, he could. He could be getting any kind of medical procedure done where it needed to be done and it had to be done. Like, if they had to put in like a pacemaker or something. We don't know. Like, it could be anything that he had to have done.
And I know the timing is not ideal, but remember, this is a man who is supposed to be in prison for corruption. Like, the one thing that's saving him is the fact that he is the prime minister of Israel, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that topic, we're moving on here, but we're reaching we're over the 2 hour mark. I want to show.
Oh, bye, Susan. She just left.
Bye, girl.
Bye, Susan.
Okay, watch this, because I think this is such an important point about campaign finance.
Election cycle, for every dollar donated by billionaires to Democrats, $5 went to Republicans. Much of that money came from ultra-wealthy tech and finance figures who aligned themselves with.
Just pause on that one point. For every dollar that went to Democrats, 5 went to Republicans. And we're out here having, not we, but we're out here having purity tests and handicapping our own candidates when they don't have those purity tests on the right. So they really are. This is why we keep saying, like, you're talking about AIPAC or you're talking about whatever, you're really helping Republicans. Just admit it. You are helping Republicans. I'm not, until we can overturn, Citizens United, this is what we're dealing with. And I think for all these people to be like, oh no, they're taking big PAC money. Like, I don't like dark money. I don't really care who it's from when it's dark money. The fact that there's no transparency is problematic. But I think we have to look at it through the lens of the other side is getting way more than our side, and they keep winning power. And so until we can level out that situation, I think we're helping them. It's just bottom line.
Trump's tax cuts and deregulation agenda.
Yeah. Go.
Yeah, you have a side that's willing to cheat consistently. And so it's like really great if you believe in the game rules and you want to have honor and ethics in that, but it's certainly not going to keep you winning the game. Like, you're not going to win. That's fine if you're playing chess. It's not fine if you are running a country. And this is the problem, because the consequences of this are literally life and death. And we're not being dramatic about that. We are watching the outcome of that. So to me, number one, I think a lot of people don't know what dark money is. I mean, we've seen that like on Threads this past week with the fallout and the conversations. A lot of people don't even know what dark money is. They just kind of tout that as anytime someone's paid by somebody, if it's not disclosed the way they want it to be, or like there is dark money. It's not like, but two, I think it's also, it's kind of like when we talk about the problems in capitalism, you aren't going to overthrow like these systemic, like you're not going to fix these systemic issues all at once. And there are people who say, well, just burn it all down. That's an argument, but it's probably not the most proactive or like pragmatic one. And that's what I feel like we are with here.
Like, who's going to burn? All the marginalized community. All the people
so often it's a white.
You don't have skin in the game. That's really easy to say.
It's so often a white man with no kids that's saying it, and I'm like, so you have no kids, you're a white man, and probably single, and like, so you're like, yeah, burn it all down, like, because you have nothing. What's at stake for you? What's it like? What are you gonna have to watch burn down? So anyway, like, I think this I don't know. I don't understand why these purity tests have to exist. And this, like, we keep having this bar of morality that the Democrats have to reach, and the Republicans consistently creating their own bars that they're well beneath. And why people can't just for one hot second say, because their argument is, well, we can't be just like them. Why the fuck not, Jennifer? Like, why? Yeah. Because you know what? Like, not being like them has gotten us here. So show me the way, and nobody can. And that's the problem, is like, then tell me what is the path? There is one, and it's called grassroots, right? Like, it's called grassroots activism, but it starts at, when I tell you, the very hyper local levels, and it has to be everywhere all at once consistently in a sustainable way, and that is nearly impossible and also takes a lot of fucking time. So this is the other problem, is like, yeah, do you got 30 years to spare? Sure, like let's make it happen in 30 years. I don't want to. Do you want to go through this for 30 years? Because I don't. Like, I am so done.
I think you could answer it in one word.
So done.
Fascism. Like, this is what we're dealing with right now. So to me, I think we're underreacting when it comes to this, what we're dealing with. So use all the tools in your toolbox, and that does not include or should not include handicapping our people running for, elected office or people serving right now. I'm much more interested in, you're not effective, you're not doing shit, you're not doing what you're supposed to do in Congress. Let's find someone to primary you, like that, rather than like AIPAC. Like, that is not substance there. And
I want to see
with the people that are like
Summer
the
Lee
issue AIPAC, anti-AIPAC or anti-Israel people. I'm not even getting into whether that's anti-Semitic or not. They have nothing else. They don't ever come up with other lines of argument. They don't have anything to really boost the other person. And you notice they wait until after the filing deadline to say this shit. Like, you've got your candidates, that these are who your options are, and you're still wanting someone else. Too fucking bad. These are our choices.
This is why it's not, because they, like, the second that it's like clear that that's the candidate, then they're like, I guess they took money. It's like, well, where were you the last 8 weeks while we were campaigning, like, and having this whole dialogue? Like, nowhere, because that was the point. You're not here to make the system better. You're here to undermine the Democratic Party. Like, very clearly, that's what this is. And I'm just done with it.
What's proof of that? Remember the Track AIPAC meme about Jasmine Crockett, which was very vague. It didn't say she actually took AIPAC money, but it had their red fucking graphic with her picture, and then it said from Israel connected groups or some shit like that. So Tallarico wins. Then there's one about him.
Yeah, that was the moment.
Democrats.
That was
both
it.
Democrats. They have the AIPAC tracker meme about both of them. They wait till after he wins, and then they come out with one about him.
That was one of their biggest mistakes, because it was very clear. That was so obvious. And then also we later find out that they're conflating J Street with AIPAC, which is not the same thing. And that's part of the problem, is that, like I told you from the very beginning, they need to show their work, because they're getting to problems like that they're getting into problems that are really complicated, and they're like, ta-da! And then people are like, oh, wow, yeah, that must be the answer. And nobody's forcing them to explain their work. Nobody's making them show the proof. Like, nobody's making them say how. And then if you try, they pull the Trump. This is how I also know that it's connected to something that's like Republican in nature, because just like how the Republican Party gets all entitled and like uppity in terms of their like superiority, you ask them, they're like, oh, well, I wouldn't expect someone like you to understand. Like, girl, that's not answering my question. Like, answer the question, show the fucking work. Like, and they get like, they have this sense of entitlement. Like, I shouldn't have to show you. Like, how dare you question me? And I'm like, that's MAGA. That's MAGA.
I've gone after some grifts before. I always show receipts, because otherwise, what does it mean? It's just you against them. So, like, if I'm going after, there's some frauds out there, and what I've learned, there's a lot of not so bright people who just open their pocketbooks and give money to, there is this, I'm not going to name names right now, but there is this one person in particular who set up a PAC and was putting out graphics. Oh, I'm Raphael Warnock. We're going to lose, blah, blah, donate money. And they had a ActBlue account set up, and it looked like it was to the Warnock account. But if you looked at it, if you looked at the URL, it had a couple of initials at the end. That money did not ever go to any of these campaigns. So I did a thread about it. I showed the FEC filings. I showed the receipts. That is how you do that kind of shit. You don't just put a graphic together like, oh, they're loosely connected with so-and-so, and they took this big-ass number as the number, as if it came from AIPAC. They don't give any dates. They don't give any source. It's just not on the level. So I'm going to talk about this more about this another time.
Well, it's not even like it's hard though. That's the thing. It's like, I get it. There are sometimes we get into very complex, nuanced issues that are very difficult to explain in a thread. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to show some of this because it is complicated, but showing math shouldn't be that. Like, it should be very clear that you go to the FEC and you should be able to go, 75 plus 100 plus whatever the hell, and you should be able to arrow out where those came from, and that should be simple. Like, this isn't a complex, nuanced thing. It's where did they get the money from? End of story. Like, you're the one that put it together. You explain it. Like, this is going to keep happening, and I really just need Democrats to grow a fucking vagina. Like, at this point, I need you all to just woman up. I need you, the Summer Lees of the world. That's what I want to see. Like, I want to see more of y'all are ridiculous and we're not putting up with it. Because even if they don't have the power to necessarily make something happen, doing that on a world stage and showing the rest of the people that they fucking see it, that's validating for people. It's validating for people at home to see these representatives go, like, you're corrupt and we see it. And even if we can't stop you, we recognize it. That's helpful, I think.
So this was Stratton the other night, and
this
was food for my soul because this is house music. This is not a boring campaign, rally, speech, whatever, acceptance. She's playing house music. She's partying. And what I love about her, I didn't follow her, I admit. I didn't follow her whole campaign. But one thing I did hear her say was she was not going to support our friend Chuck Schumer and as a senator. And one thing about this person right here, Stratton, nothing's guaranteed, but if anything is close to being guaranteed, this seat is, because it's Illinois. So she won the primary. Her opponent is a Republican. The Democrat's going to win. Okay, so this is a Black woman that is pretty much certain to go to the U.S. Senate, and she is not for status quo Chuck Schumer. Now, there's all this shit about okay, here's another one. She took AIPAC money. She got funded by the governor, all that stuff. Okay, but she won. She's a Democrat woman going to the U.S. Senate. I'm okay with that. So, Casey, you want to wrap us up with some campaign stuff or CTA?
So your call to action this week is to so number one, obviously keep looking up the dates of the primaries and elections in your areas and sharing those with people and making sure that people have a plan. If you can vote early, do that, and then that way on election day that frees you up to go help out in districts that might need it. That's something we're going to say every week. But I think this week what's really important is that we're entering in a time where things are going to start to move quickly. You can see based on yesterday. And the fact that Chris and I didn't know kind of what was going on and we were like, wait, they're also having a hearing, shows that even people who are chronically online and invested in this are having to, at the last minute, jump in to things, which means that people who aren't really plugged in politically are definitely not knowing what's going on right now. So it's really important to be amplifying this on social media, to be talking to your friends about it, even if it is in jokes, right? Even if it is talking about stuff. We have a lot of levity here on this show, on this live. And that's because that's how we cope with dark times. And that's great. And so even if it is, you don't know that much about it, but you're going to sit and have these conversations with friends and commiserate, that's a way to bring people in. And that's what we need to be doing, is really having conversations, amplifying people, encouraging the Democrats when they do stuff like what we saw with Representative Manzari and Representative Summerlee, and that was Maxwell Frost, right? Like that was speaking to Representative Frost. So when we have all of those people who are actually doing what we want them to do and are pointing out the corruption of the Republican Party, to consistently share that out on social media. Highlight that.
Lift them up. Yeah.
Let's get Chuck Schumer out of there.
Please. All right, y'all.
And drag John Fetterman for filth, as per usual. Always do that.
We are stuck with that man. Ugh.
I don't care. Then you're going to drag him for the next 4 years.
No, I'm just saying it makes me ill that we have till 2028 with this.
I don't understand why can't, and this is just an aside, someone can tell me this later, I guess, but I don't understand why we can't publicly disavow him. I know.
You can.
Oh, because sometimes he votes with the Democratic Party. Fuck that. Who cares? Like,
Yeah.
just he's not a Democrat anymore. Like, kick him out.
So and
Kick him
going
out.
back to Chuck Schumer for a minute, he can keep his seat. Like that's up to New Yorkers, but he can't be our leader. He is
Yeah.
harming the party.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
need change. So all you people that are getting elected to the U.S. Senate, tell your friends that you meet when you get there that they need to get on that same page and
Yes.
lift up. They need, in order for that to work, they are going to have to lift up to draft another senator to want to, put their name in the ring. I'm not saying Chris Murphy,
But
if you're
he's
listening to
looking good.
Chris Murphy, please do something here.
I'm just
saying. Okay,
it's time.
it's time.
It's
All right, everybody.
time.
Hopefully, we see you next Thursday.
Hopefully.
Maybe it'll be a slower week. I don't know.